Sir, please consider to push back the meeting with the elites as the people are upset about the rigged election. I can't! The elites got me into power. We can't push back the meeting again. It could lead into their plan falling through. Sir, the people also found out that you have been using an alias in your political career. It doesn't matter! Soon they will be domesticated once the elite's plans come to fruition. Now, how about you go fetch me a schnitzel?
Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're on episode 2 of What If There Was a Zombie Apocalypse in 2026. Before we get into it, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out a ton as we are on the road to 1.5k before the end of this year. So yeah, let's get into it. In last episode, we saw the start of the zombies in Egypt, and we saw how they on cargo boats got to France and India. Pakistan invaded India, and a new type of virus is now starting in Pakistan. Well, to start out, we're actually going to start it in France, as we're going to see the zombies basically destroy the army's fortification in this nation or in this region, as there's going to be a few French people who's going to try to resist this. As one makes some good counter-offensives, and we're going to see something major happen in France. And this is the French Civil War. And we're actually going to have the first side being the military, as the military is actually going to take control of this land. They feel like that they basically are the only reason France is still around. Up in Brittany and I guess Western France, a new or a French place with a new ideology is actually going to start, and it is going to get about here, as we're going to see another group, which is just going to be called the Pyrenees People's Republic. It is just a normal capitalist nation, as it is a civilian militia-led group. And the rest of France right here, it is going to start to collapse, as these two sides are going to try to take control of France. As I want to get France in this blue color, just to represent, as it is starting to be a staunch divide between many people, as towards the end of the Civil War, it is going to look something about like this, and let's look at the treaty. And okay, here's how the divide of France went. And now let's go back to the fortification layer. As since this is now a nation, they are going to actually no longer technically be a military or a civilian militia, as they are going to be their own, as we are going to see what is going to be known as the Great French Army, as this is. And we're going to have a new layer called the Extreme Ideology layer. And we will have, I guess, ideology layer known as terrorism. They believe that every nation should suffer the same as every other nation, since about 5,000 of their people died from zombies. They think 5,000 should die in every single nation. They are taking equality to its maximum, and this is very, very dangerous, as especially in nations like Libya, India, and Sudan, this ideology is starting to get a lot more traction. And now we're going to see the zombies that were the original ones from Egypt start to make its way into Sudan, as we're going to follow the Nile River, as these zombies are very, very kind of strong, as we're going to see them take the capital of Darfur, or I think, sorry if I mispronounce it, and we're just going to see the zombies even penetrate into Eritrea and over here, as Sudan is basically cooked, as like in Egypt, they are going to officially collapse. Now, going over here in the Suez, we're going to once again see Israel make counter pushes even going past the Suez and reopening up for trade, as this is going to finally start to relieve the global economy that perhaps could be crashing. Now, on the alliance layer, this is, I forgot the official name, it is just Anti-Zombie Alliance. And let's get on the European Union, as they very narrowly they very narrowly did not decide to join this. And the European Union France would not be in it, and they're going to decide to have a re-election, and let's look at the votes. Red will mean we should not join it, and green means we should. And here is the results of this selection. Basically all major nations except for Germany decided that yes, they should in fact do it. And we see why or know why. And every single nation except Germany, the European Union, will decide that yes, they should join this for the greater good of all nations. And Germany, realizing what just happened, they will in fact actually leave the European Union. And now, without Germany kind of holding it all together, many nations who voted no kind of just decides to leave it, as there's no real reason that they should even be in it now, as their economic place is going to start to collapse. As Hungary will even leave it, as this is going to be the result, as the European Union will almost be fully disbanded. Going back into France, we are going to see that this is known as Dead Man's Zone. The zombies are easily going to be able to do very well, and the People's Militia, they will collapse, as the outbreak will now even reach into Spain. As this is when the UN will now see this as a global threat. Over here in India, Pakistan, as India is in a very unstable spot currently, we're going to see them continue to be able just to dominate this. And the People's Militia that has been doing wonders for a while now is going to start to collapse, as it is going to even start to take Pakistani troops and all this. And now let's look at the Pakistan-Indian Treaty. And this is actually the treaty. It is going very well, or it went very well for Pakistan. But up here, we're going to see these group of zombies that are very just normally for the mountainous, as this is a mountainous variant, and looking at the mountain layer, they are starting just to migrate in these mountains where many people thought it would be safe, as there was a great migration from people in Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan before we saw them take all of that. And actually going here down in India, with the turmoil and instability of the nations, and even more so in Pakistan also, we're going to see India start to have not a collapse yet, but they are starting to lose some major ground. And then, over here, the military regime of France is going to basically collapse, as there's public instability, and moreover, it isn't a good time. And this is when the elite's plan will come to fruition in Germany, as there will be finally cases in Germany. And going on the extreme ideology layer, we will see a new extreme ideology. And say hello to our other ideology, corporatism. And the Chancellor of Germany, which you saw in the beginning of this video. The elites are companies all around the world, as many will move their headquarters over to Germany, as they will now start to lead the government, and the people will be under a military dictatorship. And people are going to start buying tons of products in Germany, as it is basically kind of required for this corporatism to work out. And currently, all the current companies are going to try to work together so they can keep people under their thumb. As these two are extreme polar opposites, except for one thing. They do not want self-autonomy. They want a group mentality in a sort of way. And now in an airplane, going, or at least going to be trying to be researched on this virus is going to end up in Puerto Rico. American scientists are going to try to research this in the US Virgin Islands by letting an island get infected with it. And they are going to try to see how they can perhaps start to make a cure for this disease. But luckily, there will be an American naval blockade, which let's go to fortifications. We will see a new type of fortification, the ocean fortification layer, as there will be a naval blockade all across this island. And in India, let's see a actually official military fortification. As over here, India will actually give a lot of leeway so they are not in direct fighting with the virus just yet, as they will try to protect Delhi, though it is very close in the military fortifications. And then, well, Libya, we are going to see this re-break out. This is Sharism, which is going to be the green ideology. It will start to break out as it thinks that under its leadership it could make Libya boom again. As India, or as them, I'll just put in red, as we're going to see them start to do very well, as they're even going to get the last bit of people from the collapsed government in Sudan and Libya, or in Sudan and Egypt. And as Germany will also start to fund a corporatism revolution, we are going to see Libya, though not directly too well affected by the virus, they're not going to do that just yet. They are going to officially have their government cease working as, it's just going to be a kind of I don't know, they're all going to try to get as much land from their former government as possible, like that. As it will look like this as we are going to continue the civil war later. And for our next event in this video, we are going to see a new alliance form. It is actually going to be a split, and this is the virus eradication military, something like that. As instead of wanting to try to find, they think it is a threat to humanity, not just them. Not just a few nations, and they think it needs to be eradicated. Other nations like this is going to be India who will join. And that's about it, but this movement is gaining very, very attraction in some sub-Saharan African nations. As one more final alliance will be created. This is the New World Order. And this nation, or this alliance, is going to be a Chinese-centric one, with only 4 nations at its beginning, as India and Pakistan, surprisingly, will work together and decide we need to eradicate this virus, then start attacking each other. And this is where I'm going to leave this video. Please consider liking and subscribing. It helps out a ton as we are on the road to 1.5K, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.